I'm so excited to hear that Canelo is fighting Billy Joe Saunders.
No, G, he's not fighting Billy Joe anymore.
I'm so excited that Canelo is fighting Caleb.
Yo, he's not fighting Caleb Plant anymore.
No, it's not Caleb Plant.
Nah, he's fighting Calum. Nah,
Who is it?
he's fighting Calum Smith. He's fighting Calum Smith, man, in December.
I'm so excited that Canelo is fighting Calum Smith. Alright, this December 19th. Alright, he had a lot of fighters that he could have fought, but this one's going to be a banger. So let's talk about this. Yo guys, welcome back to my channel, back with you with another video for Off the Canvas Boxing. If you haven't done it already, please click the subscribe button and hit that like in the beginning of the video as well. Also, one last thing as well, follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram, Off the Canvas Boxing, where I'll show you behind the scenes and updates of what's going to come on this channel. But let's get straight into this. We've got Canelo Alvarez versus Calum Smith, and I'm telling you, at the start, like not even at the start, during the pandemic, I was thinking that Canelo's not fighting this year. No crowds, no like revenue coming in. He's not coming out this year, alright? And I don't mean Pride Festival, I'm not talking about that kind of coming out. But initially, he was supposed to fight Billy Joe Saunders before the pandemic. Billy Joe Saunders, of course, being a southpaw, being brash, being loud, funny guy. He's a world champion at 168 pounds. So if there's anyone going to fight Canelo, it would have been, in my opinion, Billy Joe Saunders. Before the pandemic, they agreed on a fight. This is where Rona said, nah, we're locking this off. This ain't happening. You ain't fighting Billy Joe Saunders. We're this close, 1 or 2 days away from this, finishing off negotiation and signing the actual contract and announcing the fight. They were there. Everything was agreed, terms were agreed, everything was there. They just need to dot the I's and cross the T's. After the pandemic, we had the fact that there was no crowds, there was no, like, basically a lot of the revenue was out the picture, alright, which meant that purses would have dropped. You cannot fight for the same amount as if there was a packed out O2 or a packed out whatever stadium as the same as it is afterwards, no fans and everyone's watching it on TV, alright? It's not the same kind of vibe, it's not the same yay, you know what I'm saying? So, like, he was offered the fight, but he was offered at a fraction of what they agreed to begin with. And I'm not sure whether Canelo had a hit on himself or whether he had a deduction in wages himself, but I know that Billy Joe Saunders had that. And Billy Joe Saunders, of course, him and MTK Global, knowing their rights, said to themselves, nah, we're not having this. We want, like, we'll look for something else. You come back to us when you come back proper. Canelo Alvarez was left in the woods. He had Billy Joe Saunders saying no. Then he had a short list of fighters to come across and beef with Oscar De La Hoya as well. And that just got resolved like that. Like, okay, yeah, we just left on good terms. Everything's all good. You go your way and I'll go my way. And I was just thinking, hang on a minute. There was so much animosity, yet they left quite amicably, which was quite weird. They left quite quickly and amicably. Maybe Oscar De La Hoya didn't want to go through the legal proceedings. It wasn't even Canelo versus Oscar De La Hoya only. It was him versus ODH and The Zone. That was like, well, okay. We're having a bit of a breakup here, you know what I'm saying? Fling on the Jake Rhythms, a couple of Kleenexes, watching Romeo's or Letters to Juliet and them things there. But you know what I'm saying? Straight afterwards, he was in discussion with Bagger Man. This was like an audition, you know what I'm saying? And it went from, I think it was like 6-7 man. In the end, they opted for Caleb Plant I think there was a post around Caleb Plant, and has agreed terms, and they will go to fight Caleb Plant.
Hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, no.
I have no idea what happened. U-turn comes, everything gets spun, and now they're going back to fighting Calum Smith. Like, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. From the outside looking in, it doesn't look like Team Canelo are the easiest to deal with. But now he doesn't have that Oscar De La Hoya and the Zoe sort of bondage like behind him. From what I'm seeing, it looks like Canelo could just fight pretty much anyone, anywhere, anytime. Calum Smith, of course, having the WBA super middleweight title, also being #1 ranked in Ring magazine. He's also faced the likes of, I think I've got a list here, John Ryder, George Groves, and the list goes on and on and on. Alright, his last fight was his last fight? Last year, so he hasn't fought in a year. This November last year. I was of the opinion that he lost the John Ryder fight. John Ryder put in an amazing performance, but I had John Ryder winning that. So, but Calum Smith is a very tough opponent, 27 wins, no losses, so he's got at least some pedigree behind himself. Doesn't have a lot of the pulling power that Canelo or the Billy Joe Saunders may have, but he has a lot of the skill set that's necessary to beat Canelo Alvarez. He's trained also with the Gallagher Gym, which of course who has him, Liam Smith, Natasha Jonas. So they've got a very good camp that they have over there and very skillful fighters. So Canelo has got a very tough opponent on his hands. For me, this would be one of his top 5 hardest opponents that he could have faced at this time, in his career and at that weight class, you know what I'm saying? So, but Canelo also being, what is it, like he fought what, 60 times? Canelo's fought what, 56 times? 56 times. It's a lot. 53 wins, 1 loss. His only loss is to Floyd Money Mayweather, which was an amazing performance. I remember that time. Floyd Mayweather was absolute class, but also that was a very young Canelo Alvarez. For me, Mayweather is one of the best of all time. But, great record with Canelo Alvarez. Last opponent being Sergey Kovalev. Now this one, he went up the weight class to smack up Sergey Kovalev, and Kovalev being a light heavyweight, very much a much bigger opponent to Canelo Alvarez, and the way he took him out there was like admirable, very, very admirable. Before that fight in Danny Jacobs, and also Rocky Fielding on Cinco de Mayo day, the last time round. So Canelo Alvarez has got an amazing record before that, being Triple G twice, and Canelo Alvarez being like having an amazing sort of pedigree to his name. Some may say he's the pound for pound number 1. Alright, this week I'll be doing my rankings on the top fighters. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, alright? But Canelo Alvarez is up there in my top 3. Who do I think could win? For me, I think it's too much for Calum Smith, because Calum Smith has got the same sort of frame as a Rocky Fielding, and we saw what happened to Rocky Fielding that night. He took a few hits to the body, and it was, that's all she wrote. And for me, Canelo against that sort of fight, he's fought Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev is a much more bigger opponent than him. So for me, I think Canelo Alvarez thrives against bigger fighters. His toughest opponents being Triple G and Floyd Mayweather, and those fighters being around the same height as him, the same, if not smaller than him. He, you know what I mean? So for me, Canelo Alvarez doesn't struggle, if not, he thrives against the bigger opponents, and I believe that Canelo Alvarez is going to walk through Calum Smith. I like to believe that Calum Smith wins, but I don't think he's got a hope in prayer. Then, if Canelo Alvarez does win, I want him to fight Billy Joe Saunders. No messing about. Cinco de Mayo. The date is there, you know what I'm saying? That gives them, 4 months to train? That's a 16-week training. Bruv, that is amazing. that would be amazing. You know what I mean? Take a week or 2 weeks off on vacation, you know, or coming up to the New Year's, and have that fight signed, sealed and delivered. Alright, like a post box. That is your breaking news reaction for Canelo Alvarez versus Calum Smith. Guys, if you haven't done it already, click the subscribe button and do a like on this video. Follow me as well on Instagram for Off the Canvas Boxing. We're going to bring out banger after banger after banger like gets.
Banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, a combo banger.
And for me, onwards and upward. Peace, love and prosperity, guys, and I'm gonna catch you guys in a bit. Peace.